Welcome to the city of Tokyo. Yes, it's loud here. And, hold on a second. All right, let's get some audio here. So today, welcome to Tokyo. I'm gonna show you some of the history of the city, a place that people tend to walk by all the time and don't even notice, including myself. This is Kaijibashi Gate. Check it out. Kaijibashi Gate is one of the original gates of the Edo Castle, and I'm going to show you all of this in wonderful detail. First, this is where I am exactly on the map. So this will give you some pretty good oversight here. I'm right there at that intersection. It looks completely different than it did that during the Edo period, but this is where one of the most important gates to the city of Tokyo used to be. Now it's just to the left is the Willer bus station, some of the highway buses that leave Tokyo. Hard to find, but this sign is right down there, pretty much in the center of your screen right now. And not too far away is where Edo Castle used to be. And believe it or not, you can still see the remains of Edo Castle. Let's go over there right now. You look down here with what is the Imperial Palace near Chidoriga Fuji. That's where the beautiful cherry blossoms are in the spring. Right there. Do you see that? It's gonna pop in 3D. You can see the base of the castle. That's Edo Castle. This is a beautiful, massive castle back in the day. Now it's left to that, burned down in a fire. But you know, in the Meiji period, it probably would have been destroyed, or it was destroyed after the Meiji period. For some reason, I can't remember exactly what happened to Edo Castle, but they didn't rebuild it, and it's remains a part of the past. But you can still see this is the Imperial Palace. You can see the moat around it, and this is the remains of what was once Edo Castle. You can see that clearly from Google Maps, from Google Earth, right? That's what Edo Castle looked like. It was beautiful on that base there. You can see the samurai practicing archery, the walls in there, but they don't do it anymore. Kaijibashi Gate in this whole gate was right there. You can see the castle on the left side of the green circle. That bridge crossing the river, that's where we are right now. It's kind of cool. You can see it right there. No longer exists. All these plots of lands were daimyo. The closer and the more powerful you were, the closer you were to the inner side. The daimyos having their offices or homes or residences over there. And then you can see on the right side of the bridge, smaller residences for other samurai and people that were part of this. Hey, Jennifer French is here. Jennifer is in Japan, but she just returned to Chicago. She was here. Jennifer, I'm sorry I wasn't able to meet up with you while you were here. I'm glad that you're here now. You probably walked right by here a couple of times, right near Tokyo Station. That's good to see you. The city of Tokyo, when you look at it for back in the past, you can see with the moats and the rivers around here, it was very much a canal city, similar to what I guess Amsterdam would be. They got things around by boat because they were just too heavy, and it was easier to get around just because of all the other traffic, the foot traffic, and you know, you'd run into samurai and all sorts of gatekeepers. The river was, of course, they had gatekeepers there too, but the river is just easier to get around. And this is one of those locations here. And that's where we are right now. So it's kind of cool. It's just, you know, when you look back at history, well, what I want to say is you're not really looking back at history when you're walking around Tokyo, because everybody sees Tokyo. It's this modern city with skyscrapers. This is the brand new Yaisu. This is the Yaisu side of Tokyo Station. Midtown that was just finished, I guess it was like a couple of months ago. And then you have Ginza over in this direction here, right? And there's another skyscraper coming up right here. But when you look, not only do you see the Shinkansen, that's kind of cool too. But this is where people would enter into the protected side of Edo Castle. Very cool. Let's look at a comment here that we got in from Carrie. A fire consumed the old Edo Castle the night of May 5th, 1873. The area around the old keep, which burned in the 1657 Meireki fire, became the site of the new Imperial Palace Castle in 1888. The Meiji Restoration was in 1868, so by the time the Meiji Restoration started, they wanted nothing to do with the old samurai era. Despite that, samurai traditions still go on. This weekend, I will be in Fukushima, where I'll be taking you to the Soma no Maoi in a main channel edited episode with the history of this festival celebrating their 700th year. It's crazy. Every year, without, even through World War II, and this is a story I'll tell you in the edited episode, you saw it here first. Even in World War II, with the air sirens blasting and bombings going on, they still held this festival. That's the samurai spirit. Now, you're not, technically back in the Meiji period, the samurai era was finished, but the descendants of the samurai continue the traditions even today, which is pretty hardcore, because this isn't really a festival. This is one of the questions I got. Because if you ask them, hey, can you turn around so I can take a picture? They will yell at you and act as though they will behead you, like it was the Edo period, which is both creepy and pretty awesome. Though that I wouldn't want that to happen. Let me read some of the history right off of this from Kaijibashi. I forgot to turn the mic on to start. Oh, I hate it when there's a little issue here. Alright. Kaijibashi Mon was built in 1629. Just before that fire, Carrie, Kaijibashi, the bridge leading to the gate, connected current-day Marunouchi Nichome and Sanchome with Yaisu Rokuchome, 6chome, and Chuoku. That's where I live! I live in Chuoku. This is my town, baby! The name comes from Minami Kaijimachi, the neighborhood outside the gate of Sotopori Moat. Sotopori Dori is also one of the main streets that goes through Tokyo, and I used to run it in the Tokyo Marathon. It's cool. The official government painter was located here in the early Edo period. Inside the gate stood rows of daimyo feudal lord residences. That's what I was talking about. You saw on the map. The Matsudaira clan of the Tsuyama domain, current-day Okayama prefecture, and the Yamauchi clan of the Tosa domain, current-day Kochi prefecture, where I'll be next month, built their main Edo residences in this area near the end of the Edo period. The end of the Edo period. Not very good timing, since it probably got demolished in the Meiji Restoration. Kaijibashi Mon Gate was demolished in 1873, Meiji Restoration, 5 years after, leaving only its square stone walls. The bridge was rebuilt in 1876, which is what we have here, an arched bridge, but it disappeared, as the Sotopori Moat was filled in along with other rubble from World War II. Ah yes, World War II. The name remains today in Kaijibashi Kadokyo, the overbridge, and Kaijibashi Kosaten, which is the intersection. That is interesting history, and this is what it used to look like back in the day. Compliments of the Museum of Art. Thank you. So this is a picture taken of what that bridge looked like going over the moat, and you can see this was taken, I believe, in the Meiji Restoration, and you can see it's in disrepair. No one was really taking care of it. No one was manning the gates or anything like that. So it just deteriorated over time. 5 years after the Meiji Restoration, the Edo period bridge was destroyed. Here it is from the other side. Yeah. They filled that moat in with World War II debris. So it's now what you see. It's so interesting. So what you see on this side, I'm gonna leave my bike there for a second. What you see on this side is a parking lot for buses. And this used to be, I guess, like a lagoon or something, which is now the bus parking lot. So underneath all of this is World War II debris. Interesting, this huge lot here. And if you're thinking about getting a highway bus leaving Tokyo, They're kind of convenient. You can get them from right here. There's the Shinkansen going by right there. Yeah, underneath here's a rubbish dump, but you know, you get creative when you have a war and you got to put stuff somewhere. A lot of the World War II debris ended up being filled over in gosh, where is it? A lot of it on the other side of the city, creating parks with mountains of the debris underneath it. So I mean, you had to make do with what you did, getting rid of the unexploded bombs, and all this other stuff was really a difficult challenge, in particular for the Americans during the occupation after World War II. The cleanup was done not just by the Japanese, but by the US to clear the roads for the occupation. It's something that we forget. Michael Sasano, John, one of the reasons why I started following you on YouTube more than 7 years ago was because of your love for Japan and its long-standing history. Yeah. How could you not? And this is the thing that I scratch my head about with other YouTube creators. It's not a criticism. It's like a, come on. How could you not be in awe of the history? Yeah, anime, manga, food. Oh, that's pretty cool. But you're living in history. It's like all around here, and I think maybe Americans, because our history stops at 1776 or maybe the 17th century with the Pilgrims and all that. Our history doesn't go back that long. Here it goes like centuries. I'm going to a 700-year-old festival that they've continued even through the pandemic and World War II every year, just in one way or another. It's crazy. It really is. Michael, thank you. And by the way, Michael, I have your postcards here. I can show it to you. So this is going out to you, Michael, and I put in a couple of extra ones because Michael's always here giving super chat, so I'm giving you one from last year. This is my favorites. The snow monkeys with the onsen steam rising. And then this is from the month before with me and Scotty at the vending machine corner. So I put all three of these in the mail for you. This is this month's postcard. I highly recommend it because I recommend every postcard. But this is Toyo-san, a friend, great guy, amazing chef in a Netflix documentary not too long ago talking about his life. And I've eaten there many, many, many times. And he's just a cute little panda bear. Look at that. There you go. He barks at the staff though. He's a panda bear but with a bite. He really does. He's friendly to the customers than the staff. You don't want to get something wrong with the boss there. He is definitely large and in charge of his shop. Yeah, so if you do come to Tokyo, I highly recommend that you go take a look at the ruins of Edo Castle and just take notice of some of the historical signs and posts that you have around the city. Just kind of look for signs like this. I mean, it's easy to walk past. A lot of people get off of the Shinkansen and roll their bags to the hotel, and here you have a sign explaining it all, both in Japanese, which is kind of carved in there, kind of neat, and in English with maps. How cool is that? Here's a map of Edo Castle and where we are exactly in Chuoku. That's very, very cool. And this is how it looked in Meiji 30. You can see it's still here. Oh, here it is right there. And what they did was they took Edo Castle and they built the police station, I believe, and the fire station and some of the city buildings needed in the Yurakucho area, or the Yurakucho's over here. So this became an administrative center in the Meiji period. Kamen Rider Rogue writes that you're planning to visit the Edo Castle site on November to take pictures of the autumn sights. That's a great place. Oh, there's an ambulance. Leo has a Tommy car of the ambulance. That's his favorite. He wants to be an ambulance driver when he grows up. You gotta tell him I saw one today. Any other places you recommend, like this place? If you do, in particular, spend the night in the Tokyo Station and this area, Shimbashi, you can walk and make a really pleasant morning out of it. In particular, in the summer when it's so hot and nothing's open, you can walk around this area and take a look at it. There's Kitanomaru Park, which is where they have the Budokan. This is where a lot of people play concerts. They also had the judo events in the 1964 and the 2021 Olympics. It's a pretty scenic place. And you can walk down Chidorigafuchi, where you can also see where the cherry blossoms are. You go past the Indian and the British embassy too when you do that. It's a stunning place. You can walk all around it, get in your 10,000 steps, and learn a lot of history because they're signposted like this. The thing is, I still have not found them all. It's like going around looking for manhole covers, looking for historical signs. I found just the other day John Manjiro's Tokyo residence. If you don't know who John Manjiro is, Google him. He goes by other names as John Manjiro. He's the reason why I'm coming to the United States in October to go to the festival that they hold in Fairhaven, Massachusetts, to celebrate John Manjiro. He's that big of a pivotal figure. I feel like a character because he's larger than life. To make a short story, he was a fisherman from Kochi Prefecture in Shikoku who got shipwrecked, or his fishing boat got blown away with 5 souls, trapped on Torishima, an island just, I guess you could say, more off of Tokyo, found by whalers, taken to the United States via Hawaii. And he learned English, the first Japanese in America, and he was a pivotal person in the Meiji Restoration and the Black Ship and Commodore Perry and the switch over to a modern Japan. I don't think without him, it was a team thing, but without him, I think it would have been a lot harder. And this being Japan, the guy went through hell to prove his loyalty to Japan because he had lived in America. They held that against him because Japan was a closed country until the Meiji Restoration, and he came back to Japan when it was still closed. Oh my gosh, they grilled him for months in Nagasaki. Not a great thing. And only then, this is the story that I love. Finally, John Manjiro, he gets out of Nagasaki and goes back to Kochi Prefecture. They let him go, probably under strict observation. And he could see his mother again, who thought that he had died after, what was it, like 15 years or something? Which is incredible. But he always had this dream to go back to Japan. And the route that he did it, I'm telling like the whole story. The guy got his money. You know how he got his money? Oh my gosh. He went to San Francisco in the gold rush and he got $500. With gold, most people would have stayed and kept doing it like Bogart in Sierra Madre. You know, you get the greed, the golden eyes, and crazy eyes. And he didn't get that. He had his eyes on the prize, which was to get back home. So he took that money, got on a ship, went to Hawaii, bought a ship, a dinghy that he could sail into Okinawa, which was not really fully closed, and he used that as his way into I think it was a Ryukyu, had a different leadership in Okinawa, and he was able to get back to the mainland Japan through that route. If he had gone the other way, they probably would have beheaded him on sight. So it's an amazing story, John Manjiro. He's probably overshadowed by a lot of other people, in particular Sakamoto Ryoma, who's also a really pivotal character. I say character because they're all larger than life, those guys. All right, that's all I got for you today. It was pretty interesting. I can read you this one excerpt from a local guide on Google at the spot. I like to read the Google historical guide. 1 second, there you go. All right. He writes in here, there's no vestige at all, a little bit. But it is not important, but is an important place in Edo, Tokyo. In the Edo period, Sotobori Street has an outer moat and the bridge. You needed to cross it. There was a gate on the Tokyo station side, which is right here. I was checking passerbys. Not a lot of people don't even take notice. During the Edo period, the Tokyo station side was lined with daimyo residences, like the one here from Kochi Prefecture, and the name Kaijibashi side, home to the merchants. So there were merchants on this side, which is the origin of the name of the bridge, Kaijibashi. in the Meiji era, the daimyo residence was demolished, and the Metropolitan Police Department, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government offices, which I showed you on that map, located on the site. After the war, the outer moat was reclaimed by debris from air raids and became the current road. Boom! Google Maps, you've done it again. Thank you, local guide. So, are you excited about the history? I hope you are. There's a QR code on your screen. Scan it. I want you to be curious about what is this QR code? What will it do? I'll tell you. All right, we're having this is the information for the fireworks festival. It's a bus trip that Ide-san and myself have put together. Ide-san is my connection to the Japan National Fireworks Association. And we're taking 30 lucky souls, brave souls, to the largest fireworks festival in Japan with large mega shells. We're going to be firing off the Yonshakudama, which is 420 kilograms in weight or more. They're going to be firing that up as well as 2 Sanshakudamas, which are, they don't even come close to firing that size here in Tokyo. You can go to the Sumidagawa fireworks show next week. They will fire nothing close to the size of fireworks that you're going to see at that festival. We got a reserved spot for you, a hotel, meals, and a bus. And we'd love to see you. I'll be on the bus there as well. And depending on how many people come, maybe even Kanai and Leo. We're gonna go on the next day, take a look at the koi, the carp, the birthplace of that, pick them up, feed them, talk to some koi breeders and masters, see some of the countryside and support some grannies in their restaurants as they cook for us. So, I preach, if you're doing it on your TV, I thought maybe a QR code is easier. But I do what I preach, meaning I go to the countryside. I'm taking people with me. Yesterday's live stream was pretty interesting to talk about is the boom of the Japanese tourism to Japan is also creating a bunch of challenges. One comment was critical, and I'm glad that I like the critical remarks because it's a different side. This person said that I was overly negative about Tokyo, so why has my tone changed? I don't think so. Read the title of the episode. It is a critical, but it's not a negative one. It's about the challenges that Tokyo and Japan faces, and why I think too many Americans in particular go on the golden route, which is okay, but it's overly crowded, and I've seen more people that are unsatisfied with their trip to Japan because it's just too crowded right now. It's from yesterday's live stream. What used to be the gate to Edo Castle is now the Shinkansen track. Now we're being greeted by one of the samurai reincarnated into a pigeon. I'm sorry, sir, I have no permit. You can peck me to death. As long as you don't pick up a sword, we're all good. It's getting too close. Just remember that I have got fists of steel. Obviously, he knows it's not. Not allowed to feed the pigeons in Tokyo. It's against the law. Just putting that out there. You could be fined. Maybe. They'd catch you. All right. So there you go. A little bit of a history lesson. I hope that this was useful. And, to go back to that super chat, places in autumn to go and see the city, there's just too many of them. I think Hamarikyu Park might be one of the best. And that's an old residence that's not far away from here. You can walk in about 30 minutes near Shimbashi and Tsukiji Market. And it's a pretty interesting place to go in autumn and in spring. They've got a ton of different kinds of trees in there that have different colors as well. So it might be worth seeing. I know a lot of you are coming in October, so we'll try to plan some kind of a meetup, I guess. But I would appreciate it if you came and met up with me right there. Right there. Right there. All right, everybody, have a good day. See you in another live stream tomorrow. Bye from Edo Castle. Right there. See you tomorrow. If you got some ideas for a live stream, leave them in the comments below. just where we were. Parking lot. Now. But if you use your imagination, you can see the bridge. Right? Just right there, the crosswalk perhaps.